Patch 7.3 interview with Naoki YoshiP. Scheduled to be implemented again. Dude, this translation is so bad. Echoes of Vana. Wait, they will update lower Juno? Bro, please make lower Juno teleportable, man. Make it a hub, man. This is not official translation, okay? This is just Google translation, okay? I want to see what question he asked, right? The next Fog Tower is scheduled to have multiple difficulty. Finally, we get some cost. First, let me apologize for recent increase in the number of emergency maintenance. Until now, 14 has been on a monthly basis, but I've been operating for 10 years. We don't thought that there will be deal. The problem with Final Fantasy 14 right now, right, is there's a lot of like back-end problems. The reason why they have to do a lot of emergency maintenance is the spaghetti code is finally catching up. Once they start making new things, improve new things, something is gonna break. With regard to the issue of entering the Okao Crescent, problems in the community become a hot topic. So I thought it would touch it on POL. Of course, the most part of it, there was time to explain the event Okao, but this time is absolutely not enough time at the beginning alone. For me, to the players again, I was not convinced unless I talk about the recognition accounts feature and how to improve. So I took such a cohesive time. No, that's good. I actually think that part 1 live letter is completely garbage in recent years. They don't intend to show us anything in part 1 anyway. And if you look at 7.3 live letter part 1 and then you look at 7.3 live letter part 2, completely different vibe. It's almost like they are completely selling a different product. Part 1 makes it seems that 7.3 got nothing. Nothing new, not enough content, lack of content, can't show you anything. A lot of things are mystery, MSQ finale end, but then the story sucked to this point. You know what I mean? Like it seems like you're selling a bad product in the part 1 live letter in 7.3, especially this 7.3, right? But other live letter is also the same, right? They can't show you much, they can't show you in-game footage. Like, what's the point, you know? You go through a 3 hour of live letter just to like talk bullet points. I don't think people really care anymore after 10 years. Spending the first half, or in fact, if they were to just abolish the entire part 1, restructure the part 1 live letter, and replace it like, say, feedback, I think it's good, man. You let the player play the game for 3 months. 3 months later, you have a live letter that talk about feedback. What can be improved, what can be not improved. You know, and then part 2, you one shot show all the good content. You know what I mean? At the same time, when you one shot show all the content before the patch release, at least you got a playable final version already, right? Rather than, yo guys, chat bubble is in active development. The f does that mean? Is it gonna come out in 7.3 or not? Is it gonna come out in this expansion or not? You talk about the raid plan, okay, it's nice that you update. Is it gonna come out or not? And then suddenly, boom, part 2 live letter, chat bubble is ready. Then what is the point of telling us it's under active development? What the f does under active development mean? What should we expect? Oh, you should expect 7.4, 7.5. Okay, then why do you talk about it now? Just let us know when it's out, right? We already know already, you know? It's like your Beastmaster. We know that the limited job is on the horizon. We know that criteria is on the horizon. We know that raid plan you are making it. We don't need an update like that in the part 1 live letter, you know? I feel like the feedback segment is more important. Like, I wish 7.1 before 7.2 have this. Because then maybe there will be feedback like, based on our feedback, based on the feedback we receive, people say that the FRU is a little bit too easy. Let me talk about it. We want to make this FRU like more accessible. People who done lightweight can transit into FRU easier. You know what I mean? I feel like it's better if you repurpose the part 1 live letter with, you know, feedback segment. Like, I thought the feedback segment was the best part about part 1. The second half of part 1, where they talk about the actual 7.3 content, I thought was dog shit. And then obviously being saved by the part 2 live letter. The part 2 live letter saved the patch. The patch was already doomed before release already. But now with more elaboration and explanation and actually seeing it, the implementation, how they are going to do it, 7.3 actually looks good. But the part 1, nah, just do away the part 1, man, honestly. In the broadcast, I used the word okay, here we go. I think he f***ed up there. You shouldn't even have raised this topic. This is a very sensitive topic. He shouldn't even have talked about it. Because the way he presented it is like they are in crisis. They don't have enough money to divert the money into development, into quality, control, into everything, right? Basically, they lack like the overall cost factor to make the game more better. You know what I mean? Same for the ultimate. He shouldn't have just like, there's no ultimate 7.3, bye. No. Like, these are the things that you need to elaborate. These are the things that you should just take. Dude, don't talk about the part 1, right? Don't talk about what content is there in just PowerPoints. Like, use this time to explain. I think that's what the live letter should be about. If I explain in detail, it is until then it said that it's not relevant to play. Exactly. But it's not easy to raise the topic, so I will explain it briefly again. Okay, this is why I want to wait for interviews like this. Because it's only in interview like this he can elaborate more on things that he missed. I hope he also talk about the ultimate. Currently, the 40 to 100 of staff in the dev team alone. From the past, the number of people is always increasing, but even so, if you do not have a few patches of the large scale content, it will not be on the level that you can provide to the customer. Okay, on the other hand, you may think then you can increase the number of staff more. Yes, that's what everybody is thinking. Yeah, you need more staff. As you make more content, you need more staff. So you need to employ TLDR, what everybody always says, right? But the actual development speed and quality depend not only on the number of people, but also on the number of leaders in each section. In addition to the game development, I think it's common in the field of making things. But since we are technical, on the technical side, we can have a hierarchy of people who can make interesting things. Okay, he's talking about Mr. Ozma. This one right here is a reference to people like Mr. Ozma. He has enough people to make battle content, but he's only got one Mr. Ozma. That's why when you look at the first iteration of every battle content, Mr. Ozma made the best one. BA, DSR, Savage, Chaotic, now Deep Dungeon / Quantum. Like, Mr. Ozma is the guy that made the first version. And then everybody follows suit. This is the blueprint, follow suit. Try to make it better, right? But how many Mr. Ozma are there in the team? There's only one. You can't just poop out another Mr. Ozma. He doesn't exist. Again, guys, this is bad translation on Google, right? That's why I take a lot of time like explaining each point in context. It's not easy for those people to do everything at once when only one people can actually make that level of content, you know? The issue of personnel cost is not a simple number calculation. The QA team is also planning to increase the number of QA teams. But in addition to increase the number of testers, it will be necessary a leader who can allocate personnel in the bugs occur. Of course, yeah, that's what I said. That's what I said. That's what I said earlier. YoshiP can't be the guy that do the final checking and there's so many bugs. It shouldn't reach until the director to find the many bugs. The QA teams within themselves, the guy at the top of QA should already figure out what needs to be done better in the team before it's presented to the director, producer. These bugs and this speed cannot reach until producer level, and then when the game releases, then we have a problem, you know what I mean? But again, like he said, it's not easy to just employ, you know, a QA manager to do it for him, right? I guess, you know, that's the problem, right? That's where they don't have they have the money, but they can't get the person in even if they want to, you know? But still, you have to. Like, YoshiP can do everything. You gotta get someone. It's your job. And yes, it's not relevant to us. You know the problem, you need to fix it. Don't go to a live letter and tell us about cost. That's a big red alert, you know what I mean? Of course, the last year we'll be making effort to increase such people, but it's not increase. I think that is also related to the fact that the absolute number of Japanese online is sufficient. That's true. How many Mr. Ozma can you find? How many people want to be stuck in a company working 10 years on an MMO development where they can just make gacha games? Not many people want to stuck to a company like that, you know? Not many people study, get your education level to what to want to make an MMORPG. Like, if you are like major in game development, you wouldn't think about, I want to make an MMORPG, you know? So it's another matter. If you want to say you can increase the number of personnel. However, of course, we are not giving up increasing the number of employees, but we are increasing it over time, growing up. But the current situation, it become a competition with the skill of Final Fantasy XIV itself. 10 years later, man. I mean, World of Warcraft went through this cycle, by the way. World of Warcraft went through this cycle very late, to the point that the game almost died. World of Warcraft lacked creativity, lacked people to work on multiple levels, patches were content were boring. World of Warcraft went through that patch. But World of Warcraft managed to like expand their team a lot. But again, World of Warcraft makes way more money than Square Enix. And World of Warcraft usually like juggle developers between also. You know what I mean? Final Fantasy XIV can't just like get their, say, a random game that they make and get the guy to come and make 14. It doesn't work, you know? In addition, the development of large-scale content is produced and periodized about 2 patches. So it's necessary to manage all of them while checking the implementation specification. Again, this part is true. If players say, yes, nothing to do with us, yeah. But our experience of not able to do it is a policy of it. Yeah, like, I like how he finally explained it on the interview that sadly a lot of people is not going to read. I feel like these are the things that he should have talked about on the live letter the moment he mentioned cost. How many people will actually read this on Reddit, read the translation, and remember this interview? Most people don't even watch the live letter. Yeah, so these are the type of information that only people who keep up will know. Obviously, there are way more English speakers than Japan. See, a foreigner is not gonna fly to Japan, sign up as a Final Fantasy XIV developer, and then start working and relocating to Japan. You know what I mean? So that's the problem. They have to find Japanese developers. How many Koji Fox can you find? 1 in 10,000. Although it's recognized as a challenge, it's difficult to improve it immediately. Of course, in Square Enix, we have assigned personnel to 14 team as a priority, and only 14 team is a separate staff member. Of course, this is your main game. This is a complete different than everything that you have developed. They cannot just move staff from another game in Square Enix to come in. Hey, yo, you are hey, Nomura, you kind of want to come and work for 14? No. He's got his own he's got his own Kingdom Heart that he himself don't know what the do. Right? Leave him alone. Therefore, I will be very grateful to the players who think I am if you would like to apply. After all, it's an online title that is accurate solo. It's difficult for people to want to know 14 enter. So the no best will be an advantage. I like how he's taking this opportunity to still employ people, you know? It's very difficult to find not just people who never play 40 to join the team, but people who never made an MMO to that, hey bro, listen, welcome to the team. I need you to lock in for the next 5 to 10 years. That's all you're gonna do right now, Final Fantasy XIV. Like, it's so difficult, man. Like if I am a developer and you tell me that, as much as I love this game, I don't even want to sign up. In addition, overseas developers also say that they want to work, but in case Japanese language, yeah, there you go. Japanese language is big. Also, the geography, right? Moving all these people over, just not feasible, right? After all, it's a title that is developed in Japan. It's necessary to learn Japanese. And that is also a difficult problem. Just one more question about 7.2 feedback. Occult Crescent system implemented in the island for the email implemented by what will be developed in the future based on the feedback. Okay, I think moving forward, they will make Fog Tower an instance. I think they will make it like Zednor. You go in there, you level your Phantom level and stuff. But then there will be a separate NPC to queue for Fog Tower. I think that's what they're gonna do. Plan a mechanic that allows you to know whether you are in a precise state. Oh, okay. They want to make something like let you know ETA how long maybe the Fog Tower is gonna happen. We assume that the level of jobs, support jobs, Phantom support job should be raised alongside knowledge level. The level of support job improve and the hard copy challenge the Fog Tower with the aim of clearing fast. The clear rate gradually increased. Yes, that's true. However, the entrance part is so complicated. Yeah, Fog Tower is a very casual content. Anybody can clear it. At most, EX12 difficulty. The problem is going in. The problem is signing up. The problem is parking it. And because entering is so complicated, no one want to risk it for the biscuit. Nobody wants to bring the 1 or 2 or 5 parks. That's why the 1 or 2 or 5 parks are left to date and not raised. Because we don't want you to sabotage our run that we took so long to organize to begin. So if they actually just make it an instance, and let's just say you can get like 36 men. I mean, I will recommend at least 36 men. 24 men is very difficult to do the content. I would say at least 36, 40 men. Queue up for it. You can clear Fog Tower within 1 week. Easy. Like right now, it's difficult to clear it even within 1 month. For a casual to search for a Discord, sign up, learn, organize, log in at a certain time, queue in, go in, wait 30, 40 minutes. Dude, these casuals can only play the game 3 hours a day, man. You want them to spend 40 minutes times 2 if they want 2 attempts. So out of the 3 hours they can play, they are stuck just standing around, re-leveling to 20, wait for the Fog Tower for 1.5 hours, just so that they can go in and wipe to the second boss within 20 minutes. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that is the problem, right? That is the part where it's hard for casual players to go in, right? To practice, to proc. You know what I mean? If they just make it like DRS, Fog Tower can be cleared by casuals within a week. Fog Tower can be cleared by majority of the Occult Crescent enjoyer that want to do Fog Tower within a month. And then World First people will clear it within a day or 2. You also need to include the half a day just for leveling, right? This one took us like what, 3.5 days? If they have the queuing system, we would have done this within 1.5 or 2. But I think that's also fair. You got 48 men to do a not ultimate content. I think 2 days is fine. 48 man, that's hard to organize. I think 2 days is fair. Was it possible to challenge and clear including those replications? Yeah, it is. Like, okay, I haven't read this. I'm gonna assume that YoshiP says yes, it's a casual content. Everybody should be able to do it. That's why they make the cipher system, so everybody can sign up. You don't need to find the static, you put in the cipher, you get a chance to go in. Once everybody know the strat, everybody got a common strat. It's a very easy to understand mechanic, very easy to execute, anybody can clear. I think that's what he planned. But because this entry was so f***ing obnoxious, people don't even want to try it. Again, bad implementation. Great content, bad implementation. The Fog Tower was built on the premise that it will be cleared by 24 people, and the remaining 24 people are expected to aim for clear even if they follow up. True. However, there was also a gimmick that became a joint responsibility. Yup, like this is the hardest boss. And I got a bad feeling the next Fog Tower, they will not do another mechanic like this. I think the next Fog Tower, they will go back to DRS, where everything is more individual. You fuck up 3 times, you die. But mechanics will be more difficult. Like, DRS mechanic was more difficult, right? If you look at the DRS second boss, the 4 robots was way harder than this. But this was harder to clear. This was harder to proc. Because one guy can wipe you. Whereas the DRS second boss was harder, but if that guy fuck up, the guy die. I think they will not make another boss like this. I think the Marble Dragon is okay. I think the Marble Dragon, even though there are joint responsibility, but at least I thought that the Marble Dragon at least is reasonable. 4-man soak tower. 4-man soak tower, but you got 48 men, you got extra body to soak. Whereas this one is like, the more bodies you have, the more people can fuck up. All it takes is one guy out of 48 men stand in the wrong position for the fireball to kill you. All it takes is one guy out of 48 to not stand at the edge of the arena to get knocked in the right side for the ice ball to not be killed and then wipe the entire alliance. You know what I mean? I feel like if that one guy fuck up the ice ball, the guy should just die. and then the ice ball can still be destroyed. If one guy failed the fire mechanic, the fireball will just kill him, but he will not cleave everyone. Like, you know, I feel like they will do something like that. So there's a lot of adjustment there. Therefore, it's a policy of 7.3 to adjust it to the point where it's originally intended. In addition, the following fog tower are also under development, and this is planned to be implemented with them adding from the beginning in response to this feedback. Yep, okay, so for the man, in the next one, they should be able to just implement the instant queue, yeah. We have received opinions that we want you to make it with multiple difficulties. So the developer is working hard to achieve that at any cost. Okay, it's not going to take you much more time and money, to be honest. Once you design the original Fog Tower difficulty, you just have to dumb it down for normal mode. I don't think you don't need to make new mechanic. You literally make the exact same fight, show more telegraph, be more forgiving. Ice ball will not have a body check on whether it can be break. As long as people soak it, even if they don't, the ice ball can still be killed. Normal mode. Extreme mode or the intended normal mode would be 4 people need to soak. You need to soak 3 times. Ice ball need to be on the right side. It can be break, right? But normal mode doesn't matter. You need to soak or people die. You just raise them. Unlimited raise. Don't need camis. Unlimited raise. Get up. Ice ball. Low DPS check. Killed it. Move on. Like, I don't think that costs any more thing. You don't need to design new mechanics. Now, maybe that will be a balance issue though. You know, people can just do normal mode, do enough normal mode, get all the information, and then do the savage extreme mode easier, right? I guess. Do we like WoW difficulty? Yes. I think Final Fantasy XIV battle content, just like their EX trial, just like their normal raid, just like the normal dungeon, just like their large skill content, just like their chaotic, I feel there should be, obviously, the final version, like I said, chaotic, the final version, right? Ultimate, the final version. Savage, the ultimate final version. There should be multiple tiers for people to do it. Like, I think Savage shouldn't just be in normal mode and then Savage. I feel like within Savage itself should also have multiple difficulty. So you got Savage easy mode and you got Savage hard mode. Savage hard mode will be the current version, obviously. There should be a Savage easy mode. Protean, instead of 8-man body check, would be just 4-man Protean. A 2-man stack can be done solo stack. I mean, by the way, it can really be done. But you know what I mean? Like, I feel like the Savage can be a like, rather than normal, which has nothing, it's a nothing burger, into Savage, which is everything. I feel like there is an in-between version that you can make, where you can have a normal, extreme, and then Savage for it. And then extreme would be a downskill Savage. You know what I mean? It doesn't need new mechanic, just a downskill Savage. So that people can do the extreme. Maybe they don't get any reward, maybe they only get a coat of twine, maybe they get half a page, but also the weekly lockout. So that would mean that every week you do Savage raid, and then you do extreme raid, you get 1.5 page a week. So now you can get your gear faster. That solves some gearing problem also. And that also increase the longevity of the content. And now your developer make one content, but it catered to 2 audience. And now everybody got 2 content to do at a cost of 1. That's what World of Warcraft does. You know, World of Warcraft has got low level mythic, low mythic plus dungeon. World of Warcraft got high level mythic plus dungeon. World of Warcraft got normal, heroic, mythic raid. Final Fantasy XIV should also have something like that. You know, a normal, extreme, savage raid. And then your ultimate should have a FRU savage and then FRU ultimate. It's exactly like what they do for Quantum. Quantum, you're gonna have 15 offerings and 40 offerings. And then sometimes something in between. Your deep dungeon has got 1 to 100 floor one-shot achievement and this. And then you also have the normal mode, which is checkpoint. Right? I feel like they should do content like this so that, like YoshiP says in the latest live letter, one piece of content should be able to cater for every type of players. That's what World of Warcraft does really good. You can grind your renown, but if you don't, it's fine. Casuals can enjoy the renown normally or grind. Your M+, you can do low-key, high-key. Raid, you can do heroic, mythic. In fact, heroic is the cutoff. You can clear heroic, you are a good player in WoW. You don't need to clear mythic. You can do a 10 key, you are a good player in WoW. You don't have to do 15, 20 keys. Like World of Warcraft has got like a very nice bracket just for even mid-core players, casual players to aim for. So even if they don't do mythic raid, even if they don't do 15 keys, they are still in the bracket of you are a content enjoyer. Good. You know, 14 doesn't have that. 14 is just, do you do savage? Yes, no. Do you do ultimate? Yes, no. Do you do extreme? Yes, no. There's no in between. I tried savage, but I can't, but I cleared the extreme raid. Hey, that's good enough. That's great. You done the raid. You know what I mean? 14 is that mid-core bracket. Savage is mid-core, but it's a stretch. For us to say that you should do savage, savage is mid-core, it's kind of like a stretch. Some people is like, bro, what the fuck are you talking about? Savage is not mid-core. You might think it's mid-core, but bro, that's too difficult for us. hard for me to disagree with you. You know what I mean? Because yes, it is the end game. You're right. I wish raiding got extreme also. Every fight has a phase 1, 2, 3. If you are doing the extreme version of the raid, you get checkpoint. So you just restart at that point. Now that will mean that they have to design bosses that will have intermission, phase change. The phase change will have to happen, obviously, at a 2-minute window or at a 4-minute window. It can't be in a 3-minute window. But otherwise, you know, the fight will completely be different, right? It will be like, if you do extreme mode and then you do savage, it will feel very different. So they will have to make checkpoints like 4 minutes in, 4 minutes in, so 2 checkpoints, right? A savage fight is like, what, 8 to 10 minutes? So 4 minutes in, 4 minutes in. And then a final phase, I guess, 2 minutes. Final phase checkpoint, you know? You just do the fight 2 minutes, you know what I mean? Why not? Like, really, why not? Why not? Why not? End gamers wouldn't complain. Oh, you done the easy version. Yeah, it's the extreme. Why are you upset at them? Why are you salty? And by the way, you can also do it. And by the way, you get half that page also. It's not like you're cut out of half the page. You still have to do Savage for your full page. You still have to do Savage for your Savage gear. Giving casuals, giving people who want to try battle content and give them an easier version. But again, not like normal. Normal is nothing burger, right? Give them a somewhat nice step up before Savage to attempt and throw them some breadcrumbs. Give them a code and twine. They are casuals. They only got Toby gear. Give them a code and twine. For you as an end gamer to always go and do extreme every week, it's also incentivized because you get code and twine. Above the current Savage reward that we have, we will get an additional code and twine if we do the extreme version of the raid. Why not? You know, like, wow, right? Heroic raid, you get a heroic tier piece. It's not great, but it's a tier piece. It gives you all the power. A heroic tier piece versus a mythic tier piece is not much of a difference. They can play the game, they can do 10s. I feel like 14 needs to look into that. YoshiP needs to fill in the gap. MS Paint,